Thank you. Excuse me, the interpreters, the witness would speak in Mandinka, so I hope we are already set up to receive the testimony in Mandinka.
Yeah, we are set.
Thank you very much.
Because he touched on the road.
Yes,
So
yes.
getting more details from him now.
No, I just want to deal with this.
I, Ebou Jarju.
Nte Ebou Jarju.
Nte Ebou Jarju. Do swear that. Mbenkali lako. I'll speak the truth.
Mbetonyale fola.
Mbetonyale fola. The whole truth.
Tonya be.
And nothing but the truth.
Adunte fem fola manke tonyati.
Adunte fem fola manke tonyati. So help me God.
Muto alama aleyendema.
Alama aleyendema. Thank
you. Mr. Witness, welcome back to the TRRC. Could you kindly tell us your full names, please?
Ebou Jarju. My name is Ebou Jarju.
And where do you live, Mr. Jarju?
Mr. Jarju,
I'm living in Convoy, Daslami.
What is your date of birth?
December Karo till Tanni Lulu 1966.
15th of December 1956. 66. Mr. Jarju, you testified before the commission before, correct?
Mr. Jarju, you said the arrow killer commission will follow.
Hakai, yes.
And you testified about your experiences working at State House as a steward to the president.
And utumu we said the arrow men kanu. Wale tilinta iladu ko la State House wato men steward yaleje. Wale mentarta balu ko lukunaje.
Hakai, yes indeed.
And when you testified, you also talked about some of the accidents in the convoys.
Hakai, yes.
Yes, and as a steward at State House, would you travel with the president to and from Kanilai?
Steward at State House. Fudum what president katani nale kabo katakani lai kana.
Jama on many occasions.
Do you recall traveling with the president when an accident occurred around the current location of the Atlas petrol station around Bijilo?
Fay hakilo sibula nyinna silo me inin president be silo kan hani fo accident nata ke dinkirato Atlas petrol station wala Atlas essentiel be damin Bijilo sate auto fay hakilo sibula wala ba.
Okay.
Yes. I recall. You are called specifically to provide evidence or information that you know about that particular incident.
Kumandi yela puruka kibaro di wala ka CDA roke ite kumul long yemen je yemen CDA o accident wala karola police of commission.
Can you kindly tell this commission what you remember?
But in Daniel, I have a commission. It Hakilo Sibula, Kolumula, or accidental Carola.
Okay, Bismillah.
Okay.
Olu abenta spiritual life.
That day was on a Saturday.
Kabonan kanila somanda juno.
We came from Kanilai early morning.
Ben fura nang sa ikafada traffic light.
When we got to the place they now call traffic light,
Convoy nat nang fo asmanta ITC tembefe.
we came until we were approaching the ITC. Mr. Jarju,
Mr. Jarju,
traffic light is way ahead of ITC.
traffic lights at the ITC Nyatole.
And you were coming from Kanilai. So could you clarify what you were going to say? The Bruford Junction. That's the roundabout.
Ha.
Turntable.
Thank you.
Oh, turntable. Thank you.
Sorry. Turntable.
It's a turntable.
Intermittent turntable menakan kana towards Senegambia.
We passed the turntable and we were heading towards Senegambia.
Intermittent turntable there's sort of a bend.
If you pass the turntable, after some distance, there is a bend. On that bend was where we found the accident. That was the big Ford vehicle. And what type of Ford vehicle was it?
Ford motor facility.
It was a 350.
I think it was a 350. And would they call it F350?
Well, exactly. F350.
Do you recall who was driving the vehicle, the Ford vehicle?
Ford motor in the canoe.
Lamin Silla was in that vehicle. Do you know this person called Lamin Silla? Very well. Where did you know him?
State House.
I found him at the State House. And what was he at State House?
State House.
I convoy driving.
He was a convoy driver. So on this day, tell us what you saw when you arrived at that scene. You told us you found this Ford 350, F350.
Afanye woto silang yemenje wonula eko ni Ford 350 taraji.
Coming from sport window,
when we got to the spot, we slowed down.
I slow blah.
I saw that the Ford was off the road
on the right hand side.
On the right hand side. The Benz too. It was headed towards our end, but the way it was hit, it turned around and it was facing the Bruford end. Do you know, from what you saw, were you able to assess where the driver of the Mercedes-Benz was hit from? Was it on the road, on the side of the road, or off the road?
It's a cross road. Member Mercedes-Benz or bring the can. Ila cross road. Isa fono ya ataki daming. Aya ataki silo le kambang. Wala sila jenje wakanlumbang. Wala amanta silo funkai ba ataki la tumomeng.
Na course kono anna driving experience fanan because after 2014 after almost tagi turning flawe ke driving na ngam rono.
By my experience and my observation, because 2014 found 2004, I was almost 12 years as a driver.
So indra course nga ngo motoy funtikan nanni because this lo rek take ajindi.
In my observation, I assumed that the vehicle was probably attempting to get onto the road and then it was hit back.
Because near Juaton Temo and his sweeper.
If you looked at the distance between us and the sweeper, it was far away. From what you saw, did it appear to you that this was a head-on collision by a vehicle that was traveling on the middle of the road and got hit or had a collision with the F350?
itela cross road ni accident kata nyame amunta moto nyimbe tabbori kan silo temale bang utumo le nyota ko kita fodul itela cross road nyota ko nyin asababuta nyadile
na moto borin do experience kono
My driving experience,
ngako si moto flow
I observed that these two vehicles,
indo mo Mercedes Benz oldi
this other one was a Mercedes Benz,
indo mo FT50
the other one was an F350,
so
a used
obviously
vehicle.
near your hit silo tema
And obviously if they had a head-on collision at the middle of the road,
ordering it atano on the right hand side, Benz of on the right hand side. What a possible no?
it was not going to be possible that both of them would be on the right-hand side.
ibebe tarala
Silo temale.
All of them would have been in the middle of the road.
and when you arrived neither of those vehicles was on the middle of the road mbiri fita je ni moto flo han clienti je nambe silo tema
Ani hani moto klimantar silo tema.
None was on the middle of the road.
let me read this out for you and you give us your opinion but when kara yala moy bitun ite ham ite la jero momenti je yow fonye I was in the lead vehicle followed by two other vehicles ndebe moto nyaton ko le kono moto fula ben noma before you get to the president's vehicle janni do fita la president la motoma I was trying to avoid the driver, referring to the driver of the Mercedes. Mbakata kanne puru nsi jenke no drive for nyame welem akabe jenke kam Mercedes Benz drive for nyame motole. However, he kept on swinging on the road. Baro nyandin a continuator ka abulo finance silo kan wati ni wati. And eventually as I tried to run on the sideways, kubitunga nataka ko ndeba katakanne puru ka bori karatanta wala he run onto my vehicle causing the accident. Atelenata na kanamna moto taki wale accident ni sabu. But perhaps I should also read the paragraph before so that you would have a better idea. Bari asekeno sapa folo ni safari janninga ni men karanteng nsi fanan karang puriya mu mo be faham. At paragraph 12 it reads as follows. Sapatan ni fulanja mun bije wala nyumfo. At around the Brusubi Elton petrol station, a man believed to be an Arab or white national was driving a Mercedes Benz and was swept by the mobile police. However, the driver refused to leave the road for the convoy. I was the lead vehicle, followed by two other vehicles before you get to the president. I was trying to avoid the driver. However, he kept on swinging on the road. And eventually, as I tried to run on the sideways, he ran onto my vehicle, causing the accident. As a person who was on that convoy during that time, is this story true? This cannot be true. Because the mind is there for observation. There was a sweeper called Mfalu Jarju. And whosoever he sweeps, that person has to forcefully leave the road. Because when he's coming at you, he comes straight at you, and his eyes are on you. You must leave the road. What I observed there, maybe this Swedish guy. Sometimes there is a long distance between the sweeper and the main convoy. Maybe he wasn't even aware that in fact the sweeper had already passed. On the right hand side, so he got out of the right hand side, trying to get onto the road
ya press ya murundi.
And it almost coincided with their arrival, and they pressed him back.
O terenyola nko foto skeno.
Or they will meet suddenly.
Ha, nko foto skeno.
These two scenarios might have happened.
But on the road.
But on the road.
Ani ya yana komo na bina on the road ni ta bingi ni ka jege de ta fenko command ko.
No, each time Yajame's convoy is coming, whosoever they sweep up the road, you have to get down. You saw the vehicles, you said, off the road. How many minutes do you think passed before you arrive at the point of the accident?
It
will not be even up to 5 minutes.
One of the victims, in
fact, when we arrived, one of the victims who was Sonko, injured in the Ford, was just being brought out. One of the NIA officers. That's right. In fact, he brought himself outside of the vehicle. So it means you were in fact present when some of the victims were coming out of the vehicle.
Exactly.
And did you see the vehicle? In fact, you told us that the Mercedes was being driven by a Swedish guy. How do you know that?
Luckily enough, the Mercedes driver, I was never to call him BB Hotel.
Luckily, the Mercedes driver, because I was once working at BB,
Hotel.
He used to run the Bako 2
hotel on the right hand side of BB.
At the right hand side of BB called Bako 2. What is the person's name?
He is Willie Bakotulla.
We used to call him Willie Bakutu. Did he have anything to do with Sir Williams as well?
I have also told I mean, Sir Williams.
Well, Sir Williams, I will name as Sir Williams.
The restaurant that he ran is the one he named Sir Williams.
I mean, the rooms were at the same hotel, but the rooms were run by Lala.
It's the same hotel, but the rooms were run by Lalas. So you knew the person before because you worked together with him?
Exactly, because at Willie Bakotu,
yes, exactly. Because their head was the one who was...
Their head was somebody called Carl Bangre, who was one time owner of BB Hotel.
When you arrived at the scene of the accident, how were you able to tell that it was Willie who was involved in this accident?
Actually, instantly, I went to the base.
I didn't know it immediately there, but when I got to the base,
I
had some colleagues that we worked with at the hotel. One of them called me and said to me, I have heard that your convoy has killed our boss. I asked, which of your boss? And he said to me, Willie. I said to him, yes, I am aware of the accident, but I did not realize that it was him. I asked him, where was he coming from? He said to me, he was going to Tendaba. But you saw the vehicle he was driving in? Yes, I saw it. I will show you a photograph. And tell me whether you recognize anything in the photograph.
Exactly. Members of Howard.
Exactly. This is the very Benz. And while we were passing, it was also standing on this spot. May I pass it on to the chairman and members of the commission for their viewing?
Natalo nindi la commission chairman la nin commission do pour finaliser jibe.
Mr. Chair, with your permission, I would want to mark it for identification. He did not take the photograph. He is not the owner of the picture. So I'd have to bring a formal witness to just put in the photograph as the person who took the photograph.
Ñin natalo atemari fang matade bitu na mole ñini me yalon ko wala natalo ñindi pour que natalo ñin nati kabula sede ko kono.
Clearly, from this photo, yes, Mr. Chair, you wanted. Thank you very much. Okay, clearly from this photograph, you could see that the vehicle was off the road.
Ñin natalo yaitandi ko moto ñin amantara silo fo kan moto.
And according to you, it was, this is the exact location where you found the vehicle.
Itala dia moko ya foko motoni natalo kata dami motoni ite fawo ya tara dinkira leto lumon ita ale moto jitarji.
How wala kita?
Yes, that was what happened.
Okay. After you went past this vehicle or this scene of accident,
real tata hanfal tambita ni motola wala accident kata dinkira mento.
Do you know whether there was any other incident surrounding the convoy?
For isibu wakala mabang for kudo sike kul kono me yalon ko asike ni convoy kilim la kulti.
Hani mo kamda karu kaya ni kami asong yin kita ndo ngawat ni kita kajube.
No, I wasn't aware of that. But when the accident happened, we spent some time there to observe it.
Do you know whether the convoy shot at some civilians near the Independence Stadium? If you're not aware, tell us you're not aware.
For isina bulun kalamako convoy ni ye civilian dolu bulle kidola Independence Stadium ma fanga biri futataje.
Hani ma kamda.
I'm not aware of that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jarju. For just one last question before you go. Can you tell us at what speed was the convoy coming on the date of this accident? Was it slow speed, moderate speed, or high speed?
When accident occurred, Mr. Jarju, for financing lafano hakilola, convoy limburo membakana. Ila burikando mandinne bang. For Mosafo ila burobe temanka sembo to bang. For Mosafo inimburi bale bakana.
Bring Jagam Fallon State House 2001 March.
Since I got to the State House 2001 in March.
And in Fort Mille 2008.
Until when I was arrested in 2008 in March.
Convoy den tele maje slow ka mo wolon convoy ngam moderate kay wala nimbit mi ka sa dekon aka moderate soro.
I don't, slow is non-existent as far as the convoy is concerned. Moderate, yes, when we are getting into settled areas.
But
when we get out of settled areas,
90 kilometers per hour.
Our speed is 90 kilometers and above per hour.
On this particular date of the accident, at around the spot of the accident, can you give us the approximate speed you believe the convoy was traveling?
The accident kata lumena, anakata dinkira mento. For isen lafano hakilola, convoy nimburo yiriko membitaka ngo tembo watu men accident mbekala wulu.
Adore nyawanya above 60 kilometers per hour.
At least it would be above 60 kilometers per hour.
60 miles per hour.
60 miles per hour.
Thank you. Perhaps maybe the cameras can just zoom into the pic photograph to so that it could be viewed by the audience watching.
Camera telu isi camera nundino natalo kan ya warandi pour jube lalu fanalisi aje mine be natalo nyimbala.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Chair, I would just want to end it at this. I just called the witness for a discrete issue so that the commission could have a better understanding about what happened on that fateful day and to have a better appreciation of the evidence that was given by Mr. Lamin Sila. And that was the purpose. I have no further questions for the witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Counsel, and thank you, Mr. Jarju. What a difference between the two testimonies that you've given before this commission. On the 27th of February this year, you testified completely about feeding Jame, serving him food and putting stuff on the table. And today, you come to testify about a horrific accident. But thank you again so much for coming. Counsel, do you know if in your contacts with him, there was an ambulance that carried the victims away from this particular horrific accident?
We did not deal with that issue, but perhaps it's a question you might want to speak with. Thank you.
Counsel, you may answer the
ambulance.
On the issue of the ambulance
wa jama'a aka involve on accidents convoy mean cause.
Mostly, it is only involved in accidents that have been caused by the convoy.
When
the victim is picked up, the victim is dropped at the nearest hospital, and then the ambulance follows the convoy.
Because
I witnessed that once.
This was in 2006.
This was in 2006.
During
the tour,
around
the Nyumi end, the accident happened, and I was not even aware.
But Jane qualified.
He came and met us in Kerewan. He said the convoy knocked one child who died, but we went there, we sat with the family. And the burial has taken place, and I have come now to meet you here. That happened. The other one was a herder. This throwing of the biscuits. It's called Solba. There was one Land Rover within the convoy which we used. That also, biscuits were thrown, and he did not know that Sol was behind him. He went to pick the biscuits, and he was knocked.
On the radio, evacuated to the hospital.
As we were going, we heard over the radio that the boy did not die, but he was evacuated to the hospital.
But
because I figured out that even if he does not die, he will not be able to make benefit himself anyway. If you looked at the height of the Land Rover, it hit him until he had to climb up the bump and then fall down.
Windscreen
and then fall down. I'm aware of that too.
So what happened to the victims on this particular fateful day?
That too, the ambulance came, picked him and rushed into the hospital. Rushed back and found out at the missing place in Kasakunda. I do not know whether the person survived or died. I did not get any further information on that issue.
So it was the ambulance from the convoy, not another ambulance coming from another hospital, if that is the case.
No, it's the ambulance from the convoy.
From the convoy.
Yeah.
It's the ambulance from the convoy that picked him.
Splendid. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, Commissioners, please indicate. If not, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Jarju, for coming again to testify before the Commission.
Mr. Jarju isonta kotake kamunan kana CDRO la commission to be fana.
Thank you very much. Council, I believe we don't have any or the witness to come now, the third witness for the day.
We always have the meeting, Mr. Chair. No, that was just a lame joke.
We will call it a day, and tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock.
Just some housekeeping issue, perhaps, Mr. Chair, before
please
you
go
go.
ahead.
May I ask to put in the photograph as MF2, MFI2, mark for identification 2. So that is just to put it in a reserve box so that we can later tender it into evidence.
But you were going to add some more information regarding that, the source and the date?
Yes, that's why I just want it to be marked for identification, and later we can tender it as an exhibit.
Fine, and that request is granted.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And lastly, the statement of Mr. Ebou Jarju. We wanted to have it exhibited as Exhibit 143. He had seen it and had accepted that it was his statement. So that is something we omitted to do, but we would want to do it now.
Fine, request granted also.
Mark Exhibit 143. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Cheers.
That's it for the okay, fine. Thank you all very much indeed. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, we would meet here again, sharp. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.
balle bina sotola alka television jube nyameng escaf gambia ye DTT decoder kutamal lenati dameng alse GRTS QTV Star TV Paradise TV ani MTA be soto min na natalol anin kuma kangol be senearing lew andung ite fenjola DTT decoder akesan dalasi wuli fula ani dalasi tanani doronga andung ibe sola karikilina ye bantala bankol la channel jama jube andung ite kodi wo kodi jola ni lafita ka continue ka min siata ye channel tan woro wala jube katake ye subscribe wolom kari wo kari ibe dalasi keme lulu ani dalasi tan donne jola ise football league channelol be jube news african movies telenovela film dima balu musical ani cartoon pour dindingol alta DTT decoder sang escaf la showroom mimbe Senegambia wotumo dream park be dame warang ila agentol minul be banko kan ani kumandi 446 1060 446 1061